we had the stocks. They've swung in about 1,000+ point range over just the last 12 hours or so, now up close to 200, largely in the belief that this peaceful transition of power and all the fears back and forth have been mitigated somewhat. Again, sharp turns are nothing unusual, and you'll probably see a lot more of those sharp turns. Adding fuel to the fire is talk now that maybe the Federal Reserve is going to delay hiking interest rates. Hard to say, but I've got some experts here as we await President Obama, who will be speaking in a few moments from the White House. He already called Donald Trump right after his victory to wish him well, just to be a fly on the wall when those two meet on Thursday. They've had a lot of nasty things to say about each other, but this is what happens in American politics, and normally we look at those days afterwards when everyone shakes hands and moves on and then makes a nasty face. All right, let's get the read of this with Charlie Gasparino, Charles Payne, Scott Shellady. Scott, what do you think is just the whipsawing in the markets?
A little bit too contrived for me. You know, we've got the Brexit kind of playbook, and I think they were following it too quickly right away. I don't like it. So a 1,000-point swing, like you mentioned earlier at the top of the show, that's not right. I mean, we still have economic problems that we have to get over. I think we're trading this market on hopes right now, maybe some beliefs, but at the end of the day, the proof has got to be in the pudding, and we haven't even begun to mix the pudding yet. So we all have to slow our roll here. It's going to be very volatile going forward.
You know, obviously everyone is watching the tone, Charles Payne, and the tenor on both sides, of both the Democrats and the Republicans, and whether this transition, this peaceful transition, will avoid the kind of maybe market extremes that come up. You can't control that. But what do you think?
Well, it began with when Donald Trump's acceptance speech. He blew away all the naysayers. Everyone who thought he would be a demagogue, he would have all this power and come out and just... you know, it was really a perfect acceptance speech. Even when Uma Abedin called Kellyanne Price, that was from what I read and understand, that was a perfect conversation. And now, of course, we see Hillary Clinton. This is where it's different than Brexit. Brexit is still being litigated in many different ways. And the court system's over there, the economists over there are scared and everything else. Most people are now, okay, listen, Donald Trump has the Congress that he wants. He's going to be able to put in the plans that he wants. We're going to see exactly what happens. I agree with Scott that maybe we're going to have volatility, but you got to buy great stocks that you think are going to do well over the next 4 years.
I agree.
Yep.
You know, Charlie Gasparino, one of the things we have seen is that, you know, the peso coming off of its lows earlier on, and that maybe this won't be too damaging to Mexico, or I don't know where the status is of the wall is. But what do you know and how these markets are? I say calming down. I don't want to jump the gun here. They're calmer.
Yeah, and they're going to go up and down, and we're going to get some volatility, and the Fed's probably going to raise rates at some point. But here's what I could never understand about the Trump sell-off and then the Hillary relief rally. Trump's economic policies are about as pro-growth as you can ever get. They're designed by Reagan-esque people like Art Laffer. He's about cutting taxes on individuals marginally, not huge tax cuts.
Right.
He's about cutting business taxes and corporation taxes. He's about lessening regulations. Why that is not a buy signal for stocks always perplexed me. It is far and away better than anything Hillary Clinton ever has planned, including her insane capital gains tax increases, like when you qualify for the increase, when you don't. And I think last night I was out with a bunch of very sophisticated traders. I was at a party. They all...
Wait a minute. You were at a party when we were working our honeys off?
It's in my contract.
Really? To go to parties?
Yeah, when we stay till 3 in the morning, he's out partying.
We were looking. Where's Charlie?
Dude, I was tweeting.
all right. I feel better.
They were, if you listen to the people, and there were a lot of Democrats in that room, they were sitting there saying, you buy a market, listen, we don't have divided government anymore. We're going to have tax reform. Think about how, listen, I was
Well, he's got the run of the table.